Welcome, business professionals, to our guide on the new Beneficial Ownership Information Filings, required by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, starting January 1st, 2024. This guide will provide you with the essential information you need to comply with these new regulations. Pay attention, because this topic applies to all 32 million incorporated businesses and LLCs in the USA, and the fine for non-compliance is an earth-shattering $500 a day. Our third-party organization, Boi Filings.com, is here to help you avoid this fine and other penalties by providing fast and accurate filings. Before we continue, please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you can stay updated. Alright, let's get into it. As of January 1st, 2024, FinCEN has updated its requirements for beneficial ownership information filings. These changes aim to enhance transparency in business operations and combat financial crimes. Did you know that according to recent reports, financial crimes account for up to 5% of the global GDP? This staggering statistic underscores why the government is now demanding accurate BOI filings. BOI refers to beneficial ownership. A beneficial owner is defined as any individual who, directly or indirectly, owns 25% or more of the equity interests of a company or exercises substantial control over it. Identifying these individuals is the whole point of FinCEN compliance. When filing BOI, you will need to provide specific identifying information. This includes 1. The full legal name of the beneficial owner. 2. Date of birth. 3. Current residential or business street address. And 4. A unique identifying number from an acceptable document, like a passport or driver's license. Remember, accuracy is key. Inaccurate or incomplete filings can lead to significant penalties, including the $500 a day fine we warned you about. It's important to note that these requirements also extend to entities such as trusts and partnerships. Each entity type may have specific nuances in determining beneficial ownership. For example, regarding trusts, the beneficial owners are often the trustees and beneficiaries. Now, compliance is not just a one-time task. You must update FinCEN if there are ever any changes to the beneficial ownership information. Timely reporting is essential. In fact, non-compliance penalties from the government have increased by 30% over the last 5 years. For help filing identifying information, visit our third-party website, boifilings.com. We are the #1 organization in America for BOI submissions. Our top-rated services have been chosen by leading businesses, lawyers, registered agents, and associations all across the country. We are standing by to handle your BOI filing ASAP through either a one-time filing or lifelong subscription. Our staff uses state-of-the-art automated software to keep your information in our system, as long as you request it to be, so you can access it anytime and quickly make updates when there's a change in information, such as a change of address or ownership. Also, do you have any questions about filing identifying information? Leave a comment below so one of our team members can assist you. Please don't forget to give us a like, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay updated about crucial filing information designed to help businesses maintain compliance with FinCEN and other government agencies.